Here are the best natural scientifically proven remedies to lower cholesterol. Now, maybe you're watching this because you just found out that your cholesterol levels are high and you'd like to explore natural options before you go ahead and use medications. Well, let me help you inform your decision. I'm naturopathic Dr. Ellie Klein, the author of the book Read This If You Have a Heart, the book on lowering high blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar naturally. And not only will I share with you the most effective natural remedies to lower cholesterol according to the latest scientific research, I will also tell you what might be even a more important consideration than cholesterol when it comes to protecting your heart and arteries. So to make it easy to share this information with you, I wanted to share with you this document that I created called The Best Natural Alternatives to the 12 Most Prescribed Drugs. Indeed, cholesterol-lowering medications, especially atorvastatin and arovastatin, which belong to the class of medications known as statin drugs, are the most commonly prescribed medications. And so how effective are they? Well, at dosages of between 2.5 milligrams and 80 milligrams, they can reduce plasma cholesterol by anywhere between 20% to 55%. So how do these natural remedies compare to these pharmaceutical agents? Well, let's start with niacin. It's a very well-known substance. It is a form of vitamin B3, and it has been shown to lower total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol by a range of 25 to 25% when taken at dosages of between 1 gram and 3 grams daily. It can also lower triglycerides by up to 25% and HDL by up to 30%. Sounds very promising, but you got to be mindful of potential concerns. So it will likely cause very uncomfortable flushing and itching of the skin. It releases histamine, and although this is transient and it goes away after a while, it is very uncomfortable. It can also raise liver enzymes, and it can also raise blood sugar levels. And because of all these things, it's probably best to take it under a doctor's supervision. Next is red rice yeast. It is the natural inspiration of the pharmaceutical cholesterol drugs. And so compound in red rice yeast gave rise to the statin drugs. And so the chemical structure of the statin drugs is very similar to a compound found in red rice yeast. It has been shown to lower LDL cholesterol by a range of 15 to 30%, which is not bad. However, while considered safer than pharmaceutical medications, it can potentially also cause muscle pain in 10% of the users, a side effect common to pharmaceutical medications. Next is bergamot. Bergamot is a type of citrus fruit whose peel extract has been shown to lower cholesterol by anywhere between 25 to 40% at dosages of between 500 and 1500 milligrams daily. The drawback is that it can inhibit certain liver detox enzymes, and that can potentially interfere with certain medications. So the solution is to take it away from medications. Also, inhibiting liver detox enzymes is not a great thing. You want your liver to be able to detoxify harmful substances. Some people may also experience nausea, bloating, and cramps, but they go away with discontinuation. It's probably a good idea to monitor your liver enzymes, and all in all, it can probably use safely for a short period of time. The next substance is the one I probably like the most because it is the safest. It is called polycosanol. It is derived from sugarcane, and it has been shown to lower LDL cholesterol by a range of between 21 and 29% at a dose of 10 to 20 milligrams. Now, moderate reductions of between 5 and 15% can also be achieved through use of things like garlic, plant sterols, which are basically the plant equivalent of cholesterol, and as well as fiber like oat bran. If you'd like to try any of these natural substances, you can readily find them in over-the-counter supplements in health stores and pharmacies. Now, there is a problem with focusing only on cholesterol. Just lowering your cholesterol will not necessarily guarantee the prevention of a heart attack or a stroke. Why is that? Well, it is an accepted understanding that there is a relationship between high cholesterol and cardiovascular disease. However, there are many of studies, including 19 studies in this particular scientific review, that demonstrate the opposite. They demonstrate no relationship or an opposite relationship between cholesterol levels and cardiovascular disease, meaning that a few of the studies reviewed in this paper actually showed an inverse relationship, whereby lower cholesterol levels were associated with increased risk of death from cardiovascular disease. I don't mean to confuse you, but the thing is that cholesterol doesn't just stick to the arteries. In order to end up in plaque, something has to happen to cholesterol first. It has to get damaged, chemically damaged, through a process called oxidative stress or free radical damage. Only then will it likely end up in plaque. Otherwise, if it does not get damaged, oxidative stress and free radical damage will also harm the arteries and will contribute to inflammation in the blood vessels and in the arteries, a matter that also contributes to cardiovascular disease. If it doesn't get damaged and if inflammation is low, then the likelihood that cholesterol will end up in plaque is low. And I'm saying end up in plaque and not form plaque because the process of development of plaque actually starts through that type of damage, oxidative stress, free radical damage, which causes injury to the lining of the blood vessel. The position of cholesterol only comes in later, and it will typically occur only if cholesterol gets damaged through oxidative stress. And so perhaps even more important than considering cholesterol is to consider how do you protect your blood vessels from oxidative stress or free radical damage. Well, the first thing to do is to avoid the sort of things that cause free radical damage, different types of poisons, whether from the environment or more commonly from your diet. And perhaps the most common culprit, which is vegetable oil, widely used in cooking and preparing commercially made foods and so on. And if you'd like to learn more about that, I have a separate video about this topic. You can also support your body's natural defenses. So our cells have something called antioxidant defense systems. These are systems and methods that our cells use to protect themselves against oxidative stress. And the antioxidant defense system that our body uses to defend itself and to neutralize these vegetable oils and their derivatives requires the presence of key nutrients, vitamin E, vitamin C, and a derivative or metabolite of vitamin B3. Those three nutrients help counteract the negative effects of vegetable oils. So you can take steps to find out what foods contain these types of nutrients and have more of those. And of course, you can also get these nutrients from over-the-counter supplements. So while there are viable options and natural remedies to help you lower your cholesterol naturally, perhaps it's even more important to protect yourself from oxidative stress. Below, I provide links to relevant resources as well as a relevant supplement that I created to help lower cholesterol naturally and protect against oxidative stress. If you'd like to deepen your knowledge about cholesterol, if you'd like to understand what causes the types of side effects that people experience from cholesterol-lowering therapies and what can be done to avoid or reverse them, or if you'd like to understand what causes cholesterol to rise to begin with beyond our diet, and there are several causes that very few people talk about, then I prepared additional videos about those topics on the channel.